Hey, what's going on there, YouTube? This is SEO0320 representing JVS. This is my final review for Punisher. This is the last episode, season finale, episode 13. I think the name of it is MEMENTO Mori. I don't know if that's a Latin terminology for something else. I think it was implied in the episode. But either way, I'm going to say this off the gate. For the series, for me, this is my second favorite Marvel series on Netflix. I'll just go ahead and say that. Jessica Jones will always be probably still at the top, but this is a very close second, and they commit to it. Like, a lot of people are probably going to say, this was paced out really weird. Pacing was just all over the place on certain standpoints, but I think that it's just so grounded, so visceral, that they allow you to engulf yourself within the confines of the story and the characters very well, personally. My reactions to a lot of episodes, they're going to be coming out periodically over time, probably extending until next week. But I finally uploaded most of my review episodes today. Me and Jarrell's are actually going to be going and doing like a discussion on the whole entire season momentarily, probably another 20 minutes from now. But this episode really centered around Billy Russo. Billy Russo backed into a corner. Who was it? I think in Fate of the Furious, when Vin Diesel was talking to Charlize Theron's characters, like, you sit there and, put a tiger to the back of the wall, how long you think you're going to be able to last by putting your foot on his neck? Eventually, when you put your foot up, he's gonna attack, essentially. And that's Billy Russo. Like, Billy went, you got to see how sneaky and how cunning he actually is as a tacticianer. Because they literally tried to flood him in and stop him. That did not work. He went to Curtis. And I was sitting there thinking, I was like, Frank could really take him out at every kind of corner. And, the only other place he knows to go to is either Karen or Curtis. He doesn't know anything about Karen. Matter of fact, Karen didn't even show up in the last part of the season, which might have been the only thing I've said, not necessarily a flaw, but, they put her in here. I felt like that they were going to imply, like, okay, even though he doesn't have a relationship with this family, even though this is not working, this person is still here. He still very much so has a soul and caring to do where he's going to progress, where he's going to go. You know what I'm saying? But they didn't bring Karen into this episode. This was all Billy. Billy goes and corners Curtis, and of course Frank is ready with a sniper rifle. And I thought that was brilliant. Now, what would have been very dark is if, Billy decided, like, all right, I'm not going to, I'm going to adhere to what you're saying and then kill Curtis anyway. Then that would show, there's a real big distinction. But he spared Curtis's life. Not only that, like, he technically spared Frank's life. He just wanted to see that other guy suffer. When he said in episode 12, man, I love to see you work, I was like, he got himself into that role. And that's why I say that he does a great job as Billy Russo. But the thing about surrounding Billy Russo is the origin story of Jigsaw. And you really get to see it. And, to have everything being put right at the focal point, right at the carnival, they don't re-show everything that happened as far as how Frank's family got killed. I think that they could have easily just went on and shown that, specifically at the very end. They showed just like glimpses of it and flashes of it. I'm not sure if that was initially in there or not, but they didn't. But I gotta say, like, seeing them go head to head, it's just very interesting. I think that, honestly, though, Billy was underutilized. I think that they should have had Billy doing a lot more things, not just the last two episodes, but really allowing you to see what he's truly capable of. Because we've had, all of the first half of Daredevil Season 2, and then this whole entire series to see what Frank is truly capable of. So it's like to be discovered, like, okay, yeah, you worked in the same group as him, but you even said, nobody was better than Frank. So it's like, if you're the second-hand man, what are you capable of? They allowed him to kind of gloss over. And I loved his character progression because I thought that he was a really good, antagonist, personally, because he's very different. Like, he's very much so interconnected to Frank. But then he's always had his own path. Like, seeing him with the family, I was just like, what happened? Who was the person that actually really pulled the trigger? You know what I'm saying? But when you get to see what Frank did to him, like, he was gonna, slice his neck. But instead, he was like, look, every time you look in the mirror, this is what you're gonna see, the ugliness that you really actually are. And I was like, dang. The other part of this I really loved was, my man, what's his name? Micro. he finally got his family back. David Lieberman finally got his family back. You know, and they were all, if the family was looking forward to Frank coming back, and he didn't. Like, I thought that out of respect, he really should. But I guess he's like, look, I've got me another life as Pete. You know, I'm off the books now. Let's see what's going to go. Now, the thing about this episode that the only thing I would question is you're going to shoot, you know what I'm saying, my girl, Madani in the head. Seeing, I'm watching like blood coming out of her head. I was like, she's dead. Now, I predicted it before it happened. I was like, she's going to get over there, you know, trying to stop it. And then, you know, she's going to get shot, you know. And the fight was dope. The fight was really good. It went back and forth. And she got in there, just that distraction, and Frank was able to go on the offensive. And she got shot in the head. And I was like, how is she still alive? I think that from a scientific standpoint, I mean, it's plausible and possible. But what they should have done is showed us, like, okay, just narrowly missed this. Or, you know, this is what happened, but she's got, like, you know, she can no longer walk or something like that. Or, you know, like she's in a coma. You know what I'm saying? I thought that would have made a little bit more sense than her just being up after getting shot in the head. But, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a movie that's about that called Headshot. I think it's this guy got shot in the head and he's still alive. So, I don't know. I thought that was kind of the only thing that the last episode, I felt like they could have just, you know, just, if you're going to commit to it, then go ahead and do it. But if you're going to continue this story onto the second season, I can see where she's going to be very much so influential moving forward because her status is going to go up. And I think the old girl, like she said, I really like her. She's going to probably put her in the position that the guy that Frank killed missed out on, so to speak. But, all in all, this was a good episode. I thought this was a 9.5. Like, I just question certain things and certain actions, like specifically Frank with Karen and then Madani still being alive. And, but I love sitting there watching Billy Russo laid up, kind of like how his mother was, and, like, his face is mangled. Like, I don't know mentally where he's going to be the next time he sees Frank, but he is going to be a threat. I can sit there and literally imagine this man burning the whole entire city just to get to Frank. So, if this is what happens, like, this was one of the better origin stories of a villain, simultaneously as origin stories of a hero, because this one time, you know, Frank could have got away, but he decided to stay there with Madani, holding her and being right next to the kids. And I thought it was a really good representation of the beginnings of Punisher. And I think a lot of people thought, you know, looking at him in Daredevil Season 2, you know, that he was already just going to be that Daredevil, like guns blazing and everything. But I thought that the way that they progressed through the dialogue and the purpose of what he needed to do moving forward after he got his vengeance, I thought it was well-grounded. I thought it was really good, and it was very impactful, you know, for me, because it was a very big difference as to the other Marvel Netflix properties. And it's sad to say that I think that they're going to be going to their own network, but this was one of the better ones. That's just for me, and I think that it ended on a great note. But hope you all enjoyed this review. Keep it locked. JVS Wing and Stop. Stay tuned for me and Jarrell's discussion a little bit later on. Peace, guys.